How's it going, everybody? And welcome to another session of the Let's Talk Show by Interlingua. I am Mike, your usual host, and today we are going to talk about a little bit of an adult topic. Whoa. Now that we're going to talk about money management. How do you manage your own money? How do you level your income? How do you balance your economic issues? This is a problem. This is a situation that I think concerns all, since being an adult today translates into pretty much making money for everything except for you. What do you have to pay on a daily basis? What do you have to pay regularly, monthly? Is it rent? Is it something for your kids? Do you actually have savings that you want to invest later on in the future, or you're putting away some money in order to maybe, why not, doing a life-changing trip? That's what we're going to discuss right now, what we do with our money and what are we dealing in order to get it. Alrighty. So without further ado, let's bring out our guests. Each have their own different experiences related to money. Let's listen to what they have to say. Going back to the Let's Talk Show, we have Adri and we have Tony. How we doing, guys?
Good, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good, thanks.
Good to have you here. Thank you so much for taking your turn to participate in our show. And, well, let's address the elephant in the room. Let's start with a little warm-up. And a big old general question. Are you good with money? Are you good managing your own money? How do you consider yourselves when it comes to money management? Adri.
Terrible.
How so? How so?
Like they say, I am a rich woman in the body of a poor woman. So I like window shopping. I like buying things that I shouldn't buy. I like buying things that I don't need. I like to treat myself.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, right now it's not a good idea to do it, but it's an addiction.
So are you the type of person that just is scrolling perhaps a website or even Facebook Marketplace and you see some stuff that I need this, and then you get it?
Actually, yeah. The price and the
Yeah.
I have this one that got popular, Temu and Shane, and actually right now in Shane in my cart is filled with a total of like 30 items, from which like 3 of them I don't really need. One of them is like a deck of cards, but it's this tiny.
Oh, wow.
I don't need
What are they about?
It's cards, but it's in miniature.
Okay. For little people.
And I don't need it, but I said, oh my God, I want it.
You may have a small guess.
Exactly. You never know.
I don't have that.
Happen.
Something extra kids over to the house.
So yeah.
You guys are making my Friday. Thank you so much.
I don't have money, but if I had money, I would have already bought it.
Yeah, you need to entertain small people. That's what you need.
Of course, obviously.
To put those cards in motion, no? You don't need money.
There's a lot of diversity nowadays. Now you have something to entertain all kinds of guests once you get them. What about you, Tone? Are you good managing money? Do you consider yourself good in money management?
I think talking about money managing, I think I'm okay. I don't think I'm too bad. I'm not in debt too much. Pay off my things. I got pretty good credit history. But I think that's because I have a lot of help, I mean, When you get a good accountant, when you get a good person that can help you, deal with your money, I think that's the best because you don't necessarily pay penalties. You don't pay like extra fees that you didn't know. I used to be that type of person that but I didn't know, and like, yeah, we have to pay 3,000 pesos now. Like, oh my god, so I used to be terrible. That's what I could say. I used to be terrible. I got some help, and now I'm okay. I'm not the best, but what could I say? I have the things that I like. I like to travel. Obviously, when you have to manage money, you have to make money, right? So I think I'm addicted. I'm more addicted to making money than buying things. I think that I wake up and I say, okay, what do I have to do today? I got to do this. What's going to generate more today? So I prioritize like that.
I need that.
So from there on, then I could, afford to hire help, to know the people that are going to help me and to have a nice little team in order to make more money.
Have you always been that way, or what triggered that mindset?
I think that having a lack of money and like opportunity,
I hear you.
so and I try to do it all by myself. So at one point I was getting exhausted, I was getting sick, and I wasn't really even making any money because I was paying medical bills and I wasn't working as good as I should have been. So I think that, getting a group of people to help you and create a good team stemmed from that situation, that experience. So first of all, I had the experience of generating money, but losing money to taxes, because you don't know the rules and things like that. So then because I wasn't good with the SAT, then I couldn't get work. And, people in the restaurant business, they want to invoice you, and you have to invoice in order for, your tax deductions to be pretty healthy, right? So I had to learn all that. I'm already like older, so more experience, so been able to benefit from that experience, and getting the team help in order to not lose money, because if you make more money, it's possible to lose more money, right? So at least you don't lose so much because of taxes and bad investment, things like that. So pretty tough though, not that easy.
It is. So, moving on to my next question, guys. Some of you mentioned a keyword for this stage of the show, which is prioritize. You, being workers, when you get your paycheck, when you get your quincena, what do you prioritize mostly in your monthly expenses, Adri?
My cat.
Yeah, what?
My cat. I mean, I am in charge of all the groceries in my house because my mom doesn't have a job. So I pay for everything. But the first thing that you're going to find in my grocery list is cat food. Always.
Am I correct at suspecting that perhaps your cat eats better than you? Because that happens quite a lot.
Well, according to my dad, yes. Because he eats his little pouches of fancy feast. Because he likes to eat expensive things. He's a freaking rich cat in a body of a poor cat. And I sometimes buy him chicken. I sometimes give him beef, pork. And what he really likes is cheese. He loves manchego cheese. So
I love that too.
I give him a little pieces, and he loves dairy a lot.
Dairy. How old is your cat?
3.
Tony, Big T, Big Tone, what do you prioritize on your monthly expenses?
Yeah, I think I prioritize on credit cards. Yeah,
Oh,
for
man.
sure. Like when I get my check, they go, whatever has to go into the credit cards, I pay them out before the due date. So
Oh, man.
that's my priority because, I use credit for everything. So I don't really, I mean, I touch my cash, but I really used a lot of credit. So basically, pay that off. And then, I already have like a scheme with bank applications where certain amount of money goes directly to the savings. So, I mean, I don't have to worry about it so much because it's already like on automatic. And food, I mean, I think 1 month I spent like just on myself, like 10,000 pesos on Didi, on Uber.
Whoa.
But I told my wife, you know what? That's why it's so important to go to the groceries. So, she told me, what? How could you spend 10,000 pesos on Rappi and Didi food and Uber Eats? I was like, well, I mean, I had to eat. What do you mean? How would I dress? And but I didn't realize it was so expensive. Like when you have a credit card and you do the app thing, it's like click, click, click. Okay, crazy. I'm done. Your food is there. In 30 minutes or less, and life is good, right? But then, you have to pay that debt, and you're like, oh no, life is not that great. So food, grocery shopping. I think to do that, I think I hadn't gone grocery shopping in like 2 months.
Wow. Right.
Yeah. So that's why I was eating. Yeah. So that's why we were ordering. I mean, we both ate from. It's just my wife and I and the dogs. So I buy the dogs once a month everything that they need from Sam's, and then whatever I need for a month at Sam's, and then my grocery shopping at the Central de Abastos in Mexico City. So once a week, once a week I go out there, and that's how I'm able to save money because I go to Central de Abastos, get everything for about 2 weeks. I go there every 2 weeks, and I do not spend 10,000 pesos on food for real. Like I think I had never done that before in my life. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
That is the danger of
you
credit.
control so quick. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's practically a stage in everyone's life when they're learning. I mean, having a history, having credit history that, you feel like you have everything now in the palm of your hand. You go nuts, you go crazy. And then all of a sudden the dues come out and you're like, oh man, what am I going to do? But hey, it's part of it. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think we can all relate to that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to your particular situations, Adri. And please don't take this the wrong way, but you were invited because of your everyday battle with life, working, gaining money, spending money, investing money, etc. How do you manage that? How do you keep up with that beat, with that pace in your life?
Let's begin with the fact that I'm a teacher, so that says it all usually.
Yes.
So I will survive quincena by quincena.
Okay.
I am very lucky. I am going to put a little religion here, but like my mom says, God never leaves us. Because even when we are struggling with money, there's always a little bit there. So, for example, last month I
like a new deck of cards.
last month I maxed my credit card, and I actually didn't have enough money to pay it all. And I was really
Okay.
scared because I said, "Oh my god, I don't want to get in trouble." So I just
Yeah.
texted my dad and I said, "Hey, can you lend me 500 pesos?" And he was like, "Sure." And in 5 minutes, I already had the money. Yeah.
Perfect.
And every time I ask him for money, he's like, "Yeah, sure." And he doesn't give me 500 pesos. He sends me more. And it's like, "Okay, thank you. Stop doing that." I feel
Beautiful.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, my mom doesn't have the job either.
That's
But
like a
my-
little Our Father in heaven, no?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And my mom doesn't have a job because of her age. And we are very lucky because my grandmother sends her money every 2 weeks too. So that helps a lot too because I pay some
Mm.
bills and she pays some bills and it
Yeah.
makes it easier for both of us. And also this
Right.
house is my mom's, so there's no rent.
Mm. Oh, that's great.
That's a big relief. Trust me, that's a
That's
big relief.
blessing. That's a blessing, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
actually how I survive little by little.
Mhm.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought because
You
I haven't lived
young
yet in the moment.
right?
Sure.
You
Sure
shouldn't ask, you
thing.
don't receive. Mhm.
Tone. Now
It says
let me
keep-
move on to
keep on-
offensive.
Keep on asking. It says in the Bible, right? Keep on asking and you will receive.
You shall receive.
That is very true.
Yeah,
on
speaking of asking and receiving, you
Mhm.
seized an opportunity when it showed up, which is being an entrepreneur, as I understand,
Yeah.
Tone. Alrighty.
Yeah,
So
sure.
how many businesses are you managing right now? Because I am aware of 3. And
Yeah.
is that
I
math still
have-
correct?
Yeah, I still do those 3. I mean, I have little projects here and there. For example, last week I sold like 50 liters of tequila. Because
Where was
there's
I?
the restaurant I want. Well, I still have a few, so let me know. I still have like probably 30 liters. And it's good too. I mean, I really like to go to tequila a lot, so I already know this old lady that she's always selling me her tequila. It's a family business, so I buy the big jugs of 5 gallons. So it's possible to make some money off it. Especially right now, the cantaritos are so popular. Here in Mexico City.
Yeah.
She's been able to do pretty good business, so she's happy with the product. And I think that it's all about that. If you have a good product, if you have a person or a group of people that need it, and you can get it at a good price and sell it at a good price, then I mean you could do that with anything, really. I think that being a teacher allows us also to have flexible, a flexible program in order to do other things, to do other activities, and having a steady income. I think that having a steady income will always be the greatest benefit and blessing, because you know that you can count on that money every 2 weeks or whatnot, no?
Sure.
But then being an entrepreneur doesn't give you that comfort. You don't know if you're going to sell 40 liters of tequila next week. You don't know if you're going to sell 70, 80 dishes next month. You don't know if you're going to sell any CBD products this week, so having a steady income will always give you like that particular security, to be able to move around, not being so pressured, not being so stressed, not being so I think insecure. No, when you are insecure, even your sales go down because nobody really wants to buy from an insecure person.
Damn.
So
That's deep.
When you're too, yeah, for sure. When you're you know that you don't need someone to buy from you, you're like, I don't care, like, don't buy it. I'm already benefiting from that product, and that particular person perceives it as a, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to get it. So I was doing the error of giving free samples to everybody, so they could know my product, but I wasn't making any money. I was like, you know what? I can't be doing that anymore. I really have to know how to sell.
Okay.
So I would be more. I believed more in me. I believed I had more self confidence, and this product has this, it has that. Give them a little bit of the oil that I make, and they, oh, it smells good. They touch it, they feel it, and they say, you know what? I'm going to buy one for my grandma as well. So things like that, or the people that recommend me for my food. I start getting new clients, new people, and then the people from when I started the Guamon business, the ceviche business, they call me, hey, you know what? I need to do a reception for our family, 70 people. What could you give us? No, what could you bring us? There are 2 people that are vegetarian. So then, I adapt my ceviche to vegetarians. I take away the protein. I only give them like mushrooms or mushrooms are like the sense of the protein.
Moving on, Adri. You're obviously the youngest one in the session right now. So I would like to focus in your experience. What do I mean by this? When you were going through that stage in life, coming from being a teenager to an adult, what were the biggest changes you experienced, and what is the biggest lesson you have learned from going through that?
Oh,
I got you thinking.
well, I think that the biggest change was adapting to not having the style of life I had before. Because like I mentioned in one of my texts, my grandfather has his restaurants, and because he had a lot of money, he was able to pay school for all his grandchildren, and that included me. So I had the opportunity to go to a very good school, to have a really big house with my family, to go outside, to go on vacations every summer and every holidays. So I had a lot of experiences and a lot of adventures when I was young, but my grandparents only paid until secondary school. So starting high school, everything changed. Then my parents divorced, and my dad left because he had job in work in another state. So my mom was the main breadwinner of the house. Okay. So we had to change houses a lot. We started moving to smaller places, and I had to get a job while I was in high school, and I hated it so much. I think I mentioned it to you before, but I was diagnosed depression, and having a job and having to go to school at the same time triggered it really bad. Wow. And so I ended up quitting school and quitting my job and taking a break, and then I returned to school, but I was not like mentally healthy anymore. So it was like a really, really, really rough patch for me. But maybe it was like when I was 20, 21, I said, okay, no, I need to do something. So I got my teacher's degree, I got my English certificate, and I started working, and right now I am stable and better.
Yeah.
Right.
How old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
Sorry?
How old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
27. So I'm still young, and I have a lot of things to go through, but yeah, that was a really rough time for me.
Definitely the magne.
I think that you learn to appreciate many things. I mean, depression will never be easy for anybody. But when you overcome it and you say, okay, the sun came out, but pretty much. It helps you to appreciate everything that, the people around you. I think that always, like you mentioned, God never leaves us, to suffer. too much. I mean, because we know the enemy's always there. I mean, the enemy's always attacking. But if we could really like understand the power behind all the protection that we have, we appreciate it, no?
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
Actually, I think given the circumstances of this show in particular, it's the best occasion for me to incorporate this little experiment that I've been working on, and I was waiting for the chance to actually show it off, which is the heartwarming question to wrap things up. We're almost up in time, but I think let's close with a golden ribbon. I don't know if that's the literal translation, but you get the picture. You know what I mean. It's just one
with the cherry on top, no?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. With just one particular question, it seems simple, but it will get you thinking. And it probably on your heart. Because right now, Adri, Tony, let's imagine that you are speaking to little Adri or to young Adri, young Tony. Given your experiences with what you have learned throughout your money history, what would your recommendation or would your best piece of advice would be for perhaps a 16-year-old Adri, an 8-year-old Tony? Big T, give it a go.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I think that it would be invest in Mexico. When I was 16, if I could have invested in, I don't know, like I think it would have been great, like in Nike Mexico, no? If I would have put in a couple of dollars then, when I was 16, I think that now that I'm 40, I would be okay. I would be, not worried about so much of what type of business to start, or
Okay.
to get more clients. I think that I would be well off. I think, talking about money, if I were to invest in Nike when I was 16, I would tell them that, make some money, all the money that you get until you're 20, invest it in Nike in Mexico, and you'll be all right. I think that's what I would do.
All righty. What about you, Adri? What would you tell teenage Adri?
I think just to not take in everything for granted, like just enjoy little things in life. I do it now, like people say sometimes that I'm very childish because I feel happy that I got the opportunity to watch my favorite movie. But I felt happy because it started raining. So I think that as a kid, as we grow up, we should never stop staying alive in the eyes of a kid.
Yeah.
I hear what your heart.
Yeah, especially
It makes
because
your heart
everything
happy.
starts getting harder.
Yes.
You're among friends. You're among the
That's what I
brethren.
was thinking.
Adri.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking earlier. Like, why does my body hurt?
I know, right?
What happened?
It just comes up and you're like,
I'm just sitting down in my user. Like, what's going on here? So when you learn to appreciate like staying home and being with your dogs and having a small garden and
Wow.
not having to leave the house so much. Like when I was younger, I used to hustle every day, all day, being on the street from 6 in the morning to 10, 11, 1 in the morning. I mean, that was never a plan for me to do, but that's what I had to do.
Mhm.
So I think that I agree with you completely.
All righty, guys. Well, we've reached the end of the line, but it's always nice to see you. And I'm so glad that you took, once again, time to be here with us. You're always welcome in the Let's Talk show. Be seeing you soon.
Thank you.
And thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Well,
And for all of our viewers, that's it for today. Be sure to click and tune in for the Let's Talk show on a weekly basis with all new content, more topics, more guests, etc. Adri was with us. Tony was with us. Eric Rios was in the controls. Poncho in charge of the editing. I am Mike. Goodbye and good night.